Hey YouTube, what is going on? It is the Purple Chess here, as you guys know me by chess. I'm going to touch base a little bit on the updates for Phasmophobia. It is probably the biggest update that they will come out with, at least for a long while. It just came out today, so let me actually share screens with you. That way we can kind of go over everything together, and we can touch base on all of the updates. All right, guys. So as you can see here, I am actually on the Steam webpage here. So as you will see here, this is version 7.0, 0.70. Now this just came out today. As of the day that I am posting this video, I am fixing to go ahead and just completely edit this video, upload it to YouTube today. It's already 8 p.m., so I am a little bit late, so most of you already know the updates that have already come out. So anyway, it came out bright and early this morning. So let's just kind of read over everything. And this is a big boy. So I can't wait to touch base on all of this with you, and we'll just kind of go over it a little bit. So they added a couple of maps and custom difficulty, which that is going to be very interesting to work with. So it says, welcome back. We've got an update for you. The long-awaited Asylum overhaul is finally here, along with much, much more. So they called it Apocalypse. With custom difficulty, we'd like to invite you to participate in the Apocalypse Challenge version 2, thanks to our extra testers yesterday. The event will start in the coming days. Keep your eyes peeled for an announcement on Discord. So if you guys don't already have Phasmophobia on Discord, I think that they have it right here. So definitely, feel free to join that Discord. I'm in the Discord. There's a lot of other people in the Discord. I get all of the announcements from Phasmophobia from there, so definitely check them out. I will also link their Discord in the description below as well, so you guys can definitely just quickly click on that link and join them without any issues. So, earn yourself 3 unique trophies for your collectible cabinet just by playing the game. That's really cool. To earn the trophy, simply do the following. In single player mode, complete all 4 objectives to get a ghost photo in Sunny Meadows Mental Institution with the following custom difficulty multipliers. That's really cool. So you can basically get like that's really cool. So like you're immediately going to be able to get trophies and stuff. Like you just have to play single player, complete 4 objectives. I'm sure that it's going to be like hard objectives, considering their trophies. And then you're going to have a display cabinet, I'm assuming in the lobby, which is going to be pretty cool. So 15 times or more, you're going to get a bronze. 20 times or more, you're going to get a silver. And 24 times or more, you're going to get a gold trophy. So that's really cool. So the custom difficulty, the new difficulty where you can create your own game. Modify existing difficulties or create your own. Come up with crazy challenges or just have fun. Each option is tied to a reward multiplier, so you can still earn money and XP from your custom games. That's actually pretty cool. I think that because it is tied to reward multipliers, you'll definitely be able to earn money, but I think that it's going to be a different multiplier just based on like the challenges that you do. Because I think that you can like hunt duration and things like that. If you make the ghost a little bit easier, I think that you're going to get less money, obviously. So you can kind of mess with it and just kind of see like what you prefer, like what you like in your games. So the player customization, you have sanity pill restoration amount. So like basically when you take pills, how much sanity is it going to restore? Your starting sanity, that's going to be interesting. Sanity drain speed multiplier. Sprinting use allowance. Sprint recharge time and sprint duration is actually going to be really nice because I feel like the sprint is not very long. Like it wasn't very long like as of yesterday, back before they had the update. It wasn't very long at all. Because I know in real life, people can definitely run for a lot longer than that without running out of breath, but that's just me. Flashlights being broken, that's actually really interesting. So you would be able to play the game without any flashlights. I mean, that kind of also doesn't really make sense because, like, then just don't use the flashlights, I guess. But I mean, in a way, like, unless they're talking about the shoulder flashlights too, because if they're talking about the shoulder flashlights, that would be difficult because you wouldn't be able to see anything. So we'll definitely have to test that out and see what all that's about. Losing items on death toggle. Oh my gosh. Okay, so
What?
so there's so much to unpack here. So basically, there was a myth back in the day that somebody had brought up saying that if you don't bring your items back to the truck, you're going to lose them. So I think that this is basically just saying that you're gonna lose the items when you die, which is what initially happened. But I think that you can actually toggle that. I don't know if they're gonna make it to where you actually have to bring the items back to the truck though. Um, because obviously, like, this is just like, oh yeah, you can turn that off so that you don't have to lose your items. But I wonder if they're going to be adding that as well a little bit later on. We go down. So the player speed multiplier. Okay, so you can basically make your player speed as well change. So for the ghost, we have number of evidence given. So it's not it may not just give 2 for nightmare, but you could also probably have it down to like 1, which would be really interesting. Um, which means that even the mimic, like you can probably even do like mimics if you're gonna get a mimic and you only have like 2 evidences. I wonder if it's gonna be the same thing for a mimic as well. Um, chance of changing favorite room. Okay, so you're gonna be able to change the chance of the ghost's favorite room. So maybe make it like to where it's more roomier, and that it is constantly changing or just not changing as frequently. Interaction amount, event frequency, hunt duration, grace period duration, fingerprint chance. Fingerprint chance is going to be interesting. The fingerprint duration as well. You can definitely like make that harder or a lot easier on yourself. Because I know that I've missed a lot of fingerprints because I have had to run out to the van, come back, and they were already gone. So I think that you can make it a little bit easier on yourself. So disabling hunts, that I feel like would give you very little money because that would be like the easiest. And honestly, I think because like after all of this is over, I'm definitely going to get into a couple of games here, and I think that I'll probably disable hunts just to go around and just like see the new maps that they have without fear of being killed. Just so that we can like adventure through all of the maps and everything. So I might do that for the first couple of rounds. And then just to like test everything, because that would be really cool to test everything without fear of the hunt, killing you and whatnot. Because eventually you do run out of smudge sticks and crucifixes and sanity pills. So, kills extending hunts. That's interesting. Um, so like basically you can change the duration of the hunt. Like when the ghosts kill another person, they're extending their hunt. Um, Especially on Nightmare, I know that it does that. So that'll be pretty interesting to mess with as well. Roaming frequency and ghost speed multiplier. Um, so then we have the contract changes. You can do setup time. Weather will be good because I know that there was so many people who could not run the campsite, who hated doing the campsite because it was raining hard. It would lag their computer. So now you can actually do the campsite and have that turned off. So that would be really good for a lot of people. Number of doors starting open. I absolutely love that. you can find the ghost a lot easier just because when the doors were closed, if you saw a door cracked open, it was so much easier to find where the ghost is at. Um, so the amount of hiding places, sanity monitor state, activity monitor state, fuse box map visibility. Okay, so you can probably change whether you are able to see the fuse box on the map or not. Fuse box starting rate. So like I'm not sure if that means that like it's already on, like you can make it to where it's already on or off. Cursed possessions quantity and cursed possessions choice. Oh my gosh. You can make it to where you start with all 6 freaking cursed possessions, and that is so big. That's so awesome. I really like that. Um, you can save up to 3 custom difficulty presets. Okay, I don't know why there's only 3 of them. I would have probably added like 5. There's so many different options, so you definitely need quite a bit. So you can kind of like find your like the game presets that you particularly like, and then you're able to save up to 3 of them so that you don't have to keep constantly changing them. Or if you'd rather have like an easier run, you can just quickly change your preset and you don't have to change all the extra components to it. So now we're going to check out the new locations that they have. So as you guys know, the asylum is no longer the asylum anymore, the old asylum that it used to be. It is now Sunny Meadows Mental Institution. The asylum has been completely recreated from the ground up, featuring more distinctive room designs, a morgue, a hospital wing, a courtyard, and an experimental area. There is also a chapel in there, based on other like little teasers that they have shared. Be warned, the ghost will lock each wing's main door when it hunts. So prepare an escape route while you're safe. Okay, so that's interesting. So whatever wing the ghost is in, it's going to lock whenever it's hunting or whatever. So I'm assuming that it wouldn't. I mean, obviously it would probably lock the front door too, but that's kind of interesting, and that might also be partially easier to find out where it is too. So then we have the restricted section. It sounds like Harry Potter. Sunny Meadows Mental Institution restricted. So Sunny Meadows is not only a large location, but 5 small locations in one. Okay, because it's talking about like you have the morgue, the hospital wing, the courtyard, experimental area, and possibly the chapel added to that is what I'm assuming. So that's what it means by 5 small locations in one. The new location selection board allows you to vote to play a smaller, more restricted version of the asylum. Each time you enter, you will be given a random section to investigate, with the other sections blocked off or locked. That's really cool. This will help those who prefer playing smaller maps and offer some variety each time you play. Unlocked at level 22. Okay, so they reset the levels as well. So when you reach level 22, this will be unlocked. Because I know, me personally, I hated playing the Asylum map just because it was so large. But I know that they kind of like made the rooms. They shrunk down on all the rooms. They have a lot less rooms now. But this is even better for people who don't like playing on large maps, because they can definitely do the asylum, but you're going to be restricted to each section at a time. Like each game is going to be different. So like one time you might be doing like the experimental area, another time you might be doing the hospital wing, and that's actually very, very smart, and I really like that. So the last map that they added is Camp Woodwind. I think they still have the Maple Lodge campsite. This is just a new map. So it is a small version of the Maple Lodge campsite featuring a brand new layout and much fewer rooms. Again, if you guys didn't like playing the campsite, also based on how big it was, this will also be more beneficial. Perfect for those looking for a quick outdoor retreat. And that is also unlocked at level 19. So that's a very interesting. So that's very nice because like you have something to look forward to. You have changes in the game that you can look forward to whenever you get to those levels, because you can definitely do different maps with those levels. Um, so the ghost types. With the current system, often when a ghost interacts or throws an object, it barely moves. To remedy this, we've reworked how a ghost throw works to be able, to make sure it's impactful, noticeable, and more exciting each time. Some ghosts have had their abilities and traits tweaked. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, I see 4 of them here have gotten their powers tweaked a bit. Alright, so all ghost, all hunting and event sound effect volumes will now drop to 0% when 20 meters away.
Nope.
Instead of just being quiet. So that's so bad. That's going to be so hard because if you're on a large map and they start hunting you, you're not going to know if you're more than 20 meters away from it. I guess like if the lights shut off or whatever. So this should also make the myling shrink more noticeable as well. Okay, so the myling will be a little bit easier to detect now, but I think, that's going to be so difficult. The singing sound caused by the music box playing will now drop to 0% volume as well. So that also includes the singing for the music box. That's lame. I love the way it sings, and also like you're able to find it a lot easier on large maps because you use the music box, and now it's going to be a lot harder. So yeah, they're definitely making the game a little bit harder, it seems. So throws now have a maximum throw power to avoid small throws. So the power that it was a 0.1 to 0.25 or 2.5, and now it's going to be 1 to a 3. So they're not really going to have small throws anymore. They're going to be throwing them a lot harder now. That'll be nice. Objects are now thrown higher, resulting in much more consistent throws. And during hunts, objects are thrown more often. Okay, so 50% chance to throw an object in range every 0.5 seconds. But a poltergeist will have a 100% chance to throw an object every 0.5 seconds. So that'll actually be very easy to tell a poltergeist because you can probably just make like a line of items or whatever, or just put like a whole pile. And if it, while it's hunting, if it interacts with every single block or every single item you put there, it is most likely a poltergeist. Because the others have a 50% chance, so, like, every other time, basically, they'll probably throw it. But the poltergeist will do it every single time, which is really good because that was one of the things that was so noticeable about a poltergeist when they're doing the super throws is because they do a super throw, they're able to move multiple things at once, so you automatically knew that it's a poltergeist. So I really like that they did that because it kind of makes the poltergeist stronger, and it also is true to their special ability that they do as well. So the poltergeist, the Oni super throw has been moved to poltergeist as it is more thematical. Okay, so other ghosts have a 1 to 3 power. This one has a 2 to 6 power with its like super throw basically that it does. So that's going to be noticeably like a lot better at throwing stuff. A lot like powerful throws. So the Oni has received additional traits as well. Oni will now drain double the sanity of a normal ghost during ghost events. I feel like that'll also be kind of easy to tell as well if it's an Oni that way, especially like when you're not on nightmare mode, because you'll be able to see the sanity bar. So I feel like that'll be a little bit easier to tell. Onis can now be seen for longer periods when flickering during hunts. Okay. Demon's rare ability to hunt above 70 will now happen more reliably. Because I know that they did that every now and then, but it definitely wasn't like for a demon. Normally you're just like, oh crap, I'm dealing with a demon, like I need to hurry up, I need to get out of here. The demon is all like supposed to be the scariest ghost ever, like in every single game in mankind like ever could imagine. The demon is supposed to be the scariest. So I didn't understand why they didn't have that sooner, that they could hunt above 70 more frequently, but now they're like, because it's a rare ability obviously, but now it's going to happen a little bit more reliably. So it'll actually act like a demon now, because that is the demon's only ability, is to hunt above 70. But if it's not doing that, then it's basically a regular ghost, um so the Gen Sanity Drain ability has received adjustments. Okay. The ability will now trigger if you're in the same room or within 3 meters of the ghost, and the ability will now create EMF at the fuse box if any player is drained, not just the host. Okay. So the ability will now trigger if you're in the same room or within 3 meters of the ghost. Okay. So the Gen, I guess they used to be able to drain your sanity from outside of the room. I never really realized that before. But now they will only trigger when you're in the same room or within 3 meters of the ghost. And the ability will now create EMF at the fuse box if any player is drained, not just the host. I'm not sure what that means. I'm assuming that you can just like throw an EMF down at a fuse box, I suppose. That's kind of interesting though. All right, so we have a reporting players here. Through the in-game journal, players can now report others who they believe are breaking our terms of service. Player reports will be reviewed by our team and punished accordingly depending on the offense. That's really good because a lot of people troll and a lot of people take advantage of the fact that they can get away with it, and now they're not going to be able to get away with being douchebags anymore. So that's really good. Bans are progressive and increase in duration for multiple offenses. Some offenses may start further in the chain than others. So 2 days, 7 days, 30 days, or permanent. Guys, why? Why would you want to be permanently banned from playing this amazing game that we have been gifted to play? Like, come on now, guys. Don't permanently get banned. Don't be a douchebag. Just play. Just be nice. Be courteous of others. That's all anybody is asking for. So you may also be banned from abusing the report system, spamming report players. So don't spam them just because you don't like them. Do it for actual reasons. To report a player, open the new recent players tab in the journal and click the report icon next to that player's name. If you're banned, you will still be able to play single player game. Okay, that's okay. That's nice then. So you're going to be punished accordingly, which makes sense because you can't play nice, you're not going to play with anybody at all. You can play by yourself. You can just go in the corner over there and you can play by yourself, but you're not going to be able to play with others. All right. All right. So these are the new things that have been added. Due to paranormal entities appearing in our base of operations, ghost hunting distribution has moved everyone to the new office. That's actually really cool because they have like they had the girl that was in the closet and they had the little dude that was standing up in the rafters. And it's funny that they use those as like a story-based thing to introduce you into your new office. A warehouse has been converted into a shop, new investigation boards, access to the truck, and a staff room. That's coming soon. That's really cool. So the player cards have been added, which those were also in teasers as well. They're like little ID cards that have like a picture, the stats, like what level you are and everything like those. That everything like that in it. Um, a detailed statistics page has been added to the post game screen. Okay. A long-term stat tracking page has been added to the journal for various player and ghost stats. You will now connect to the last region you were in instead of connecting your best ping region. Okay. So for those of you who like play multiplayer games and you're playing in a different region, you'll automatically be connected to that region that you were just in. Which is good because if everybody is like used to playing in another region, that's actually really nice because then you don't have to connect to another region every single time. So the journal is now usable in the main menu room. That's really nice because every time I wanted to read up, like if I got a ghost wrong and I was trying to figure out how the freak I got it wrong, I couldn't just go into the journal and read up on the ghost because you literally have to be inside of a game to be able to do that. So I really like that they added that. Steam users can now view and add friends through the new recent players journal tab. That's really cool. Um, Weekly challenges have been added. More will be added with the progression update. Okay. That's wait, weekly challenges? Yeah, okay, weekly challenges. Okay, gotcha. Um, that's pretty cool because we had daily ones and now we're getting weekly challenges. So that's really cool. Shortcut buttons have been added to jump between the location selection, main menu, and shop screens. Additionally, you can use the keyboard arrows for navigation. Okay, so you don't have to walk back and forth between the different selections in the lobby, in other words. The whiteboard in the truck has been replaced with a progressively updating investigation board. I really hope that we get new like objectives to do because that's what I was waiting for. They were just like so old. Like, they were always the same ones. Um so new collectible cabinets have been added to the lobby. Try to fill them both. The first time you used a cursed possession, it will be added to the collection, and collecting each type of bone will add it to your collection. Some need to be collected twice. More collectibles will be added closer to the full release of the game. That's so awesome. So you're basically going to collect a whole skeleton, and that's so fun. I don't know how it works when you're playing in multiplayer games, though, because you're playing the same game. So, like, do you physically have to pick up the bone yourself? So I'm assuming that's how I would perceive it because like I don't think it would be fair if I was playing multiplayer games, which is the majority of what I play. And then like everybody else keeps picking up the bone and adding to my collection because it's a multiplayer game. So I'm assuming that just based on that, I'm assuming that you would physically have to pick it up yourself for it to be added to your collection. The shop has been moved to a separate computer in the lobby. Okay, so it's not all the same computer now. Players can now create loadouts for their equipment. Additional loadouts will be added in the progression update. Okay. You can now view daily and weekly challenges in the truck. Okay, that's awesome because I know that last time, I say last time, but like literally yesterday, as of yesterday, um, like that was the last day of this, but they if you don't remember what the weekly or I guess what the daily because I think they only had daily challenges, that was a pain because the only place that you could see it was in the main menu of the game. So you would pretty much like have to memorize what they were, in other words. So equipment items are now placeable back into the truck's equipment wall. So now, for those of you who are OCD and those of you who like to make a clean game and just place your equipment back on the hooks of the truck, now you're able to do that. Because I know that I am one of those people. um, You can now take photos of new interactions to gain rewards. Okay. You can now take pictures of dots and use crucifixes, 1 or 2 uses, which I'm assuming you can do both then for each crucifix. So you can get 2 pictures per crucifix then. The salt pile when a ghost steps in it. That is so big. Because that was also like a thing, which I mean, like, I guess I can understand it because humans can walk through salt. So, you know, you can't take a picture of a salt pile that's been stepped in and say it was a ghost. But in consideration, your players can't physically step in the salt themselves. Only the ghost can. So you might, you know, great, you can take a picture of it. Now it actually counts. Ghostwriting will now display as ghostwriting instead of interactions. When the ghost attempts to hunt but is blocked by a crucifix, it will now create an EMF2 reading. I wonder if it does that for Onryo's with the candle. They added a house candle to Grafton. Arabic now has text and voice recognition support. VR players will now see a loading screen to help with loading jitters. And save files will now create a backup and automatically restore if they corrupt. If you guys had that problem, it has now been fixed. Because now there is backup. Alright, so now we are going into the changes of the game. We are like just barely over halfway. So I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. As of the time I am recording it, it is already 32 minutes. So bear with me, guys. It is a big update. So, you know, I knew it's going to be a little bit longer, but just kind of bear with me here. Controls for equipment have changed to become consistent. If an object is placeable, it will always use the secondary button. And if an object is usable, it will always use the primary button. Okay. I feel like it was already like that. This means that smudge sticks are now used with the right mouse. Don't forget it. Okay, so in order to use your smudge stick, so if an object is usable, it will always use the primary button. So if you have to use your object, it has to be the right mouse button. So remember that before you use a freaking smudge, because if you don't, you'll die. Collecting the bone will now grant more rewards when playing on larger maps. So that's actually really good because it gives you higher, which I mean, like, I guess that makes sense because the multipliers were better anyway on bigger maps. But this actually tells you how much you would get right here, based on the bones that you collect in the different maps. The photo point system has been removed. Instead, players will receive a set amount of money and XP per photo they take. This allows us to even out the rewards for photos so that getting a certain ghost type won't become a feels bad moment for what photos you can take. Okay. So, okay. We have tiers here for the ghost photos. So, these are the like least amount of photos, like the least amount of paying photos you can take now, which sucks because interaction and fingerprints and footsteps are those, and that's very sad. So all of these are going to be like the highest you can get is $5. The highest you can get on this is a $10 photo, which is the used crucifixes. Dirty water! Dirty water is important now. Aw, bless the dirty water's heart. Like, it was always a really good picture to take because ghosts are actually interacting with houses, like, you know, like in their own ways, and you would think that that would have been a good paying photo from the start. And obviously the ghost photo is going to be like the highest. Photos are no longer affected by the difficulty multiplier, but with these changes, you'll be getting more money than before. Okay. The photo priority system has been improved. Items are scored by the distance and how close they are to the middle of the photo. The top scoring item will give rewards. Okay, so I'm assuming that means that when, because it says ghosts will always take priority over the other items. So I'm assuming that that means that when you take a freaking photo, and this happened to me all the time, where I would take a photo of the ghost, but it had just touched the door, and for some irritating reason, it counted the interaction to the door over the ghost photo. So I think that what this is talking about is whatever you're actually taking a picture of, it it it's scored by distance. So if you're taking a picture of a footstep and you somehow see like I don't know, the crucifix in the background or whatever that's been used, it's going to count whatever is closer because it makes sense, like that's what you're taking a picture of, it's going to be closer. If you're trying to take a picture of the ghost and the situation that I was going through was happening, ghosts will always take priority over the other items. This also means that you will always get interaction photos before fingerprint photos. So get the UV lights back. Oh my god. So that means that, and also based on this, because the, oh well, the interactions are the same as fingerprints. So okay, that means that when you take a picture of the door, because you don't have you don't have a UV light and it touches the door, you want to take a picture of the door to see if it's fingerprints, it's going to say interaction now. So you actually have to physically see if it's a fingerprint or not now. Okay, so the placement highlight mechanic has been reworked. You will only see the highlight when holding down your designated placement key, which is F. Moving it. Okay, so this is basically about like rotating things. You can now place and rotate the tripod. Okay. Various equipment's placeable areas have been adjusted. I mean, like you could always like rotate equipment, but I guess they made it a little bit easier, and you can now rotate tripod. So the fuse box has received a new design when in the house and farmhouse locations. Sanity drain for hide and seek is now 0%. I guess it's saying that the when you do hide and seek and you're like when it counts down, I'm guessing like the board's not gonna break when you're 0%. It's going to wait until it it goes down to 0 before it breaks. I'm not really sure. The key in the truck has been moved to hang next to the door keypad instead of on the desk, which means no more walk of shame because you forgot the key. Increased rewards for all daily challenges. That's really good because you would only get like $5 or $10 and it would be nothing. Rewards for playing on medium and large maps have been increased. That's awesome because that was actually another reason why most people just played on the small maps, because it was easier and you pretty much got paid the same amount of money regardless. You can now view 10 photos in the lobby room, which was 6 from your previous game. Okay, so now it's going to show all of the photos that you took instead of just the 6 that it used to show. To improve performance, objects will no longer render from behind closed doors. Adjusted the visuals for skyboxes for each weather so that they are more realistic. So the sky is going to look more realistic now. Improve the heavy rain and snow effects. The main menu options screen has been removed and is now accessible only in the journal. Some locations have been renamed. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know that they were going to do that. When dead, players can now see doors but walk through them. That's actually really cool. Because you can kind of like... I mean... You can kind of like help out, I guess, in a way, like figure out where the ghost is at then. That way, and you can just like throw items to like tell your other crewmates, basically, that like your teammates, that hey, the ghost is over here, it just touched the door, because now you can actually see the door. So the volume of the guitar being played at camping stove toggle has been lowered. Ghosts will now, oh my gosh, I cannot talk, I'm so sorry. Ghosts will no longer see you through the trees by the cabin and Maple Lodge campsite. Ghost can now no longer set these rooms as their favorite. Okay, so they're basically not gonna be like they're gonna be centralized in like rooms now. As far as like their favorite rooms. Like they can still roam, but the rooms that they're going to camp out in is going to be like actual rooms this time, and it's gonna be a lot easier to find them. Rebaked occlusion and Maple Lodge campsite, which may improve performance. The journal default button on the gamepad is now select instead of D-pad. I have no idea what any of that means. I play with mouse and keyboard because I tried controller and it did not work. Like it was not for me. So hey, if you play with controller, they made some changes to you as well. Room names for the sound sensors will now be in the room they were placed in instead of in the room you were standing in when you placed it. I didn't even know that that was a bug. I didn't even know that they changed that. Candles will now extinguish when placed in your inventory. Ghost now use the sprinting footstep sound when hunting on dirt floors. Reduced RAM usage for fonts. This is significant in languages with many characters. Adjusted several light bloom values and adjusted campfire particles and bloom. Okay, so this is the very last thing, which is their bug fixes. So they fixed long distance roams. The chances now. I'm assuming that that means like if you were to change the difficulty, like if you put it on high for the ghost roaming, if you put it on high, then it would have a 30% chance from wandering. Medium would be 20 and low would be 10%, is what I'm understanding. Fixed ghost changing favorite rooms chance. For example, if a ghost long roams and ends up in a new room, do a chance check. Low 33%, medium 66%, and high is 100. Then do a check based on sanity. I have no idea what any of that means. I don't know what any of that means. Gorio will now have half the chance of other ghosts to long roam instead of double. So that was a freaking bug. And I thought that they fixed that already. And it said that they did, but I guess they didn't. But Gorios are not supposed to roam as often. Like, it's literally in the book that they're not supposed to do. And I know that a lot of the stuff in the book is just, like, for story and, you know, like just to season the game a little bit. But, Gorios do not normally roam. But they're supposed to roam for half the chances other ghosts. So they finally fixed that. Myling will now decrease the audible range of its hunt audio instead of only footsteps. Okay, that is actually super helpful because a lot of people weren't understanding how the myling works. Because when you hear the words like, "Oh, they're quieter," like to me that means that well, they're not as loud. Like they're not like talking as loud, or they're not singing as loud, or whatever. So now they actually made it to where everything is quieter with the myling, so it's a little bit easier, and you don't have to do a flashlight test anymore. If you have less than 16% sanity when lighting the last summoning circle, the ghost will now hunt instantly after being summoned. So, okay, every time you light a candle on the summoning circle, it takes 16% sanity anyway. So basically make sure that you're not already at 16, because when you light the last candle, you're going to be at 0, and then that's going to cause it to immediately hunt, and you're not going to be able to get the ghost photo, is what I'm understanding. When the summoning circle is lit, the ghost's position will now sync faster for non-host. Oh, geez. Okay. That's That's interesting. Fingerprints on camping lamps will now be the correct size. You can no longer place objects on the truck ceiling. I know that you could place candles on the truck ceiling. And so yeah, you can't do that anymore. Fixed a rare issue where the voice recognition would not work due to an empty voice models file. Picking up a tripod. Okay, that actually, I've had a lot of people deal with this to where they couldn't talk on the spirit box or anything. So that's actually nice that they hopefully finally fixed it because they were supposed to fix that a while back. But I guess that they finally fixed it. Um, Picking up a tripod with a camcorder attached by someone else will no longer break the camcorder. I never had that happen. But I mean, hey, if you had that happen, they finally fixed that. You are no longer unkillable when hiding under stairs or similar objects in some locations. So, okay, basically, like, people were using them to cheese the game, but it's not going to work anymore. The hiding spot next to the cabin will no longer get you killed. Grafton's upstairs locker can now be blocked, and the Bleasdale workshop locker can now be blocked. So you have less hiding spots now in the farmhouses. Having Alt as your push to talk button will no longer keep your voice active after Alt tabbing. The toilet upstairs in Edgefield now flushes. Ghosts will no longer affect the living room collider when standing on the basement stairs in Tanglewood. You can no longer glitch behind the small tents to access safe spots. I saw Insim do this and it was absolutely hilarious. He saw it from Psycho. And it was really funny to watch. But they, of course, every time they test these out, the devs are just like spying on them and they're just like, well, they found another bug, we have to fix it. So that's fixed now. You can no longer do that anymore. That's a shame because that was really funny. The mayor will no longer stop attempting to do its light switch ability after you use the light switch several times. And doors will no longer spin when closing for it's funny because this one has been hilarious and it has been so it's been in the game so long that it's so funny and everybody knows about it and they just now fixed it. But yeah. So this video as of right now is like 50 minutes long. It's almost an hour. I'm going to end it here shortly. If you guys don't already haven't already joined their Discord, please go ahead and join their Discord. The Kinetic Games team is really working so hard on this game. It's my favorite ghost hunting game out there. I really enjoy playing it, and I'm sure that everybody else does as well. Like, there's so many people that play this game. So definitely give this a shot. Definitely join their Discord. You'll be able to get notifications, announcements, and everything else when there's going to be new updates coming out or patch fixes or anything like that. So yeah, I want to thank those of you who actually stuck in through the whole video to, just kind of go over it because I am a little bit late doing this. It's almost 9 p.m. here. By now, most of you have already played the game. I have mine updated. I am fixing to jump in here in a second once I upload this game, and I'm going to do a couple of videos. I'm not going to stream any because I want to be immersed in the game. I don't want to be distracted. So I'm gonna record a couple of games. I'm gonna put them on YouTube. I'm gonna see how they are. I can't wait to get into it. I'm probably gonna do a couple of rounds where I disable the ghost hunts just so that I can just kind of walk around, immerse myself, like get to know the maps a little bit more, see what all there is to offer, and just kind of tinker with all of the custom difficulties and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for watching this. If you don't already, join Twitch. Like, go ahead, scroll down, click on that Twitch URL. Join me there sometime whenever I'm streaming. It'll be a fun time. I really enjoy you guys sticking in, watching the video. I really appreciate all the support from you guys. thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a good night and happy ghost hunting, guys.